The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101, and we've got our winner for the Black Keys tickets. So don't worry about it. Tomorrow again, 7:10, tickets for the Black Keys at the United Center. Going back to last week, a question that pretty much took up all of our time for a little while, for a brief moment, as we were talking about inflation, how last week there was a bad inflation report, so everything's more expensive. They try to tell us that things are getting better. Like, oh, yeah, inflation's down this blah, blah, blah percentage. And then you still go to Jewel and come out with a bag of groceries. It's like $70. And you still go to the gas pump. It's like $4.20 or something right now.
Oh,
like,
my God.
It's not good. It's not that good out there. And the report finally said, yeah, it's still not good. It's not coming down that much. In fact, it's going back up again.
No kidding.
This led to a conversation. I think Kenzie had stepped out for a second at this point. So I want your opinion on this, Kenzie, that talked about going out, and now whatever you get, fast food, it's all more expensive. And Case goes, when I go to the restaurant, Subway, and I stopped him right there, I go, wait a minute, you call Subway a restaurant? And I want your opinion on what it is first. And then we had a long conversation. This went into a deep, deep dive on the show last week. And
this was a long conversation.
Oh, boy.
My take is a restaurant is somewhere you go and sit down and a waitress or waiter comes up to you and says, may I help you? You guys want a drink to start? Do you like the menu? You want to see the specials? That's a restaurant. Mm-hmm. Subway, not demeaning Subway in any way because I eat it, but it's not a restaurant.
Right.
And Case enjoys going to Subway and sitting down actually in Subway and eating.
Oh, that's weird.
That's my favorite thing to do.
You sit in Subway?
I love it.
Yeah.
I just put on headphones. I listen to Q101. I eat a meatball sub. I take my time. Oh, I love it.
He likes
So you go to a restaurant where they can make your food fast.
Correct. And then people said, well, it's a fast food restaurant. I
right.
go, no,
it's a fast food restaurant.
But I think fast food is just called fast food. I don't think it's a restaurant still. Like Burger King, McDonald's, Wendy's, Subway, I guess, Jimmy John's.
I mean, okay, so probably by definition, it's a restaurant because it's a place that serves food. But yes, no one would be like, well, I just went to this restaurant.
Where'd you go?
Yeah.
Wendy's?
Yeah. You just say, I agree that I think if it has like a server, all that is when you'd use that description. But this is tough because like that's not how you describe it. But like if you Googled what a restaurant is, then yeah.
So the definition of a restaurant by Google is a place where people pay to sit and eat meals that are cooked and served on the premises.
Interesting. Sounds like my visits to Subway.
Well, no, because most people first don't sit in there.
And I bet the meatballs aren't made there.
Yeah.
Where are the meatballs made?
Probably in a factory somewhere else.
I
don't think there's a guy in the back fresh rolling meatballs.
Hey, chef.
Yeah.
It's like the bear. We're all going.
The chef on the meatballs.
Like the bear.
We've got another meatball order. Thank you, chef. By the way, that bread was amazing yesterday, chef. Thank you, chef. Cousin.
Oh, God.
They should have done the bear
At Subway?
about a Subway franchisee.
At the Jussie Smollett Subway
Yes,
right by us.
Look, I love the bear as is. It would have been better if the show was about Subway.
Listen, I went to Mr. Beef on Friday, and it was amazing. And I've been there in a little bit, and the line is out the door in there for that Mr. Beef. The Subway would have profited greatly if they went there.
But when Jussie Smollett allegedly was attacked.
Allegedly.
Thank you for being so diplomatic about it.
You're welcome. I've been told I need to be calmer about that. When he was allegedly attacked.
I didn't realize Kenzie was a journalist.
Yes. I've gotten in some trouble over statements I've made on the show. Did he say he was going to a restaurant? What did he say?
No effing way did he say he was going to a restaurant.
I was on my way to a restaurant, and then I got jumped.
Yeah.
What do you think he said?
I want to see the court
With
transcripts.
all the rope in Chicago? Yeah. A lot of rope hanging around.
So I was on my way to this restaurant and didn't realize I was in MAGA country. Oh, my God. So we put a poll up, by the way, and our Twitter poll, this happened last week, but the results are in. And is Subway a restaurant? Yes or no? 56% said no.
God.
Subway's not a restaurant.
And the other, let's see, 44%.
Come on, girl. Yes. Good job.
Thank you. Our case is age and under.
I don't know if it's an age thing, but
yeah.
You think it is?
Yes.
Because Case is 25 years old. So you think people 25 think Subway's a fine dining restaurant?
Once you have kids, it becomes nice restaurant experiences, and then the rest of it is things you can take your kids to.
Correct.
So Subway falls into things I can take my kids to.
See, my argument is that Subway is a sandwich shop. It's not a restaurant. Like Jimmy John's is a sandwich shop. Potbelly's is a sandwich shop. And then people said, well,
I wouldn't even give it that. Subway's is a place where you can get some food.
Okay.
Sandwich shop sounds nice. Like there's fresh baked bread or something.
And people wanted to bring in diners. I said, well, a diner is a diner. If it has a counter, it's a diner. It's not a restaurant. It's a diner. It's okay to be a diner. It's okay to be a sandwich shop. It's just not a restaurant. Mm-hmm. So that's where we're at.
I have an update on Jesse Smollett.
Oh, God.
What did he say? Do you have a quote?
I have a transcript from the 911 call that his manager made when he reported the hoax.
Okay.
Now, this settles the whole thing.
So we have to
whatever Jesse said.
Okay, I don't want to hit this yet then. I want to.
No.
Are we all going to agree to go by this ruling then?
Yeah, whatever Jesse said.
Here's the problem. The quote is going to open up a different can of worms that's Jesse Smollett related.
Oh, crap. What did he say?
Okay, let's hear it.
This is a quote. Let me get through the entire thing. He says, quote, this is him on the phone with 911. I work for an artist. I don't really want to say his name, but he went to Subway. He was walking by and somebody jumped him or something like that, and I just want to report it, end quote. He just refers to it as Subway, not the restaurant Subway. I'm surprised the 911 operator knew what he was talking about because he didn't refer to it as Subway the restaurant or the restaurant Subway. I'm amazed this got any traction whatsoever.
Well, there you go. So we're going by that rule.
Probably thought he got jumped on like the platform.
And that's exactly it. Also, I can't get over the verbiage. Somebody jumped out and jumped him or something like that. That's a very loose description of what happened.
Oh, I want to know. I remember they said they put like a noose on him. How was he able to make this phone call?
This is his manager, not Jesse Smollett himself.
Because I think he went up to his apartment.
Well, he had to call the manager and tell him. Why would you call your manager first?
He did. That's right. He called the manager first, and he went up to this apartment building, I think right over here. And then he had the video when the cops came, he still had the noose around his neck or something. He just put it on or something before the cop came in.
Yeah, they were like, why'd you leave that on?
Yeah, the first thing I would do if someone put a noose, I'd take it off.
Honestly, good call, Brian.
I'm not leaving it on.
People say I don't support you. I think that was a very smart thing to say.
I'm getting that thing off right away.
Oh, man.
And also, shouldn't you have your con ready to go in a clean way when you call up? Like the manager called up 911 like that? He wasn't sure what he was going to say.
Exactly. He should have said, so I was at the restaurant Subway, and the incident unfolded, and I need your help.
I was in the middle of my candlelit dinner at Subway.
So the waiter had just come to the table and asked if he wanted any appetizers.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q 101.
Well, it's a conversation that will never end with Brian and Kenzie on Q101, and this involves, is Subway a restaurant?
Good Lord.
And it's not. It's not a restaurant. And when you go to a restaurant, someone comes up and offers you a drink menu, appetizers. Nothing has to be super nice. There's just a waiter or waitress. That's what a restaurant is.
So one of the arguments was a restaurant is a place that makes food. Yeah. And Casey's like, what about the meatballs? And I go, those are definitely not made there. And Colton texted in and said, can confirm, worked at Subway, meatballs are delivered frozen.
Wow.
Okay, but
What?
they make the bread there fresh every day.
In the locations?
Yes.
It's not
I don't
delivered.
think those employees are kneading bread. I don't buy it. They're probably just throwing it in the toaster oven.
Okay,
I don't think
fine.
they're...
Works for me. Pretty damn tasty.
Oh, jeez.
I just pictured Mario and Luigi in the back making bread. Like tossing up the dough in the air. Hey, we got another 6-inch coming up.
You know, there's all these like media companies now, they just want to own IPs and do like collaborations. I need the Bear cast to work with Mario and Luigi to run a Subway franchise. That's my new dream show.
Oh, I'd watch.
God, that'd be so good.
Also, someone checked in because Kenzie was trying to kind of defend you a little bit, saying it could be an age thing that you consider Subway a restaurant. And someone said, F that. It's not a restaurant. I don't care how old Case is.
Well, he's the bad cop as a parent. You know what I mean?
It's very vile. Very vile. And then now, the same guy that told us the meatballs were delivered said, nope, the bread is also delivered frozen.
Yeah, but they still have to heat up the bread.
Well, that's not making the bread.
Fresh every day.
It tastes pretty fresh when I bite into it.
Hey, I'm not dissing Subway. We're just categorizing it as not a restaurant. If you want to go eat there,
Last time I went to Subway, my lettuce was brown, and I was pissed.
Well,
Oh,
that's
that's
what you
not
get for ordering lettuce at Subway. What are you doing wrong?
I didn't order lettuce, you a-hole. I put it in a sandwich.
Kenzie
I
walked,
didn't go get some lettuce.
Kenzie walked in and said, I'll have the cookie, a drink, and some lettuce,
Yeah,
please.
I want like a bowl of lettuce. I didn't order lettuce, Case. God.
Does this need to be put back up on Facebook for discussion? I know it was already there last week, but is it too much? We've decided it's not a restaurant, but I mean, some people are passionate about saying, it's a kind of restaurant, but it's not.
I can bump the post to the top of our Facebook
What
page.
I will give you is that it's a fast food restaurant. But most people just say it's a fast food place. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a category of restaurant.
But am I wrong in thinking that Subway is like a level up from a traditional fast food restaurant?
Yes.
1,000%.
Okay. I guess we won't have that discussion.
It's not up.
Nope.
Brown lettuce.
Yeah. What are you looking for today, ma'am? Lettuce.
Taste is so annoying.
Well, you come to the right place if you want lettuce.
We've got all kinds, green and brown. It's Brian and Kenzie on Q101.
Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.
Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101. Let's put a lid on this Subway as a restaurant conversation. And I think Zach said it best here. One of our listeners, Zach, one of our crew members here, checked in and said, does Case think a microwave is a restaurant? Oh, man.
Oh, when I say I know how to cook, I mean, I know how to put things in a microwave and hit one.
Yeah.
You are so bad. I remember when your girlfriend texted you and asked if you could boil water while she's on her way home, and you didn't know how to do it.
I was afraid. I was like, well, I've
Case
seen.
thought you had to build a fire.
I was like, well, you make it look so easy. Why don't you just do it when you get home?
Oh, my God.
She asked me to go to the store a while ago and get, what's it called, cilantro?
Yes.
I had to Google a photo of cilantro, and then I couldn't find it at Jewel, so I went up to a worker with my phone, and I said, do you have this? And they said, cilantro, yes, it's right next to you. I felt like I was lost without my mom in the store.
Oh, I bet you did.
It's great you made it to 25. It really is.
Oh, I know, it's awesome.
It's nice. Quarter of a century. It's great.
Stop
He's
effing
really
around.
getting a lot of wisdom.
Yeah. Coming up, head to headlines. One that involves, and this is not from the 90s, it's a new headline, involves John Wayne Bobbitt. Remember that guy?
No.
John Wayne Bobbitt. Let me just
Did
tell
I
you.
meet him?
Well, he's a pretty big historical figure, unlike Subway. His
You mean
wife.
John Wayne?
No, John Wayne Bobbitt,
So not John Wayne like
the actor.
Pow Pow.
Yeah, not the Pow Pow Western
Gunslinger?
guy. No. John Wayne Bobbitt had his penis cut off by his wife because he cheated.
Oh, I like that. I'm into it.
Well, something even worse happened to him, and it's in Head to Headlines coming up. You choose what story we talk about more. In the meantime, here's Gil Curtis's headlines, what he thinks are headlines of the day.
This is not headline news. Today is tax day, or as Shakira calls it, Monday. Golden Bachelor couple Jerry Turner and Teresa Nist are divorcing after only 3 months of marriage. It was shocking news to some, not so shocking for the people who know the number of successful relationships to come out of the Bachelor franchise. Coachella kicked off over the weekend. It's when young people blow thousands on tickets, food, and lodging to watch bands through their phone. The white Ford Bronco O.J. Simpson was in during his infamous police chase is now in a Tennessee crime museum. Even stranger, Al Cowlings is still in the driver's seat. And CBS is ending The Talk. If you never saw The Talk, imagine an hour of opinions from celebrities who can't even get on Dancing with the Stars. This is not headline news.
Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.
Brian and Kenzie, time for Head to Headlines. And we've told you one of the headlines already. So this is where you pick the content of the show based on the headline alone. We'll talk about that story. We'll never talk about the other story again. So choose wisely in your stories. So here we go. You text in 312-591-8300 which headline you want. Headline number 1. John Wayne Bobbitt loses all his toes due to Camp Lejeune contaminated water 30 years after his wife Lorena infamously cut off his penis, says a report. I love that. Ooh, that you said. Ooh. Obviously, that was a huge story back in the 90s. Whenever we watch those 90s decade shows on A&E, and always John Wayne Bobbitt comes up. And it's fascinating to me that neither of you know that name at all, right? You don't know it either case?
Not really.
Yeah.
Did he get it back?
Well,
Get his penis back?
Yeah.
well,
What do you mean? You can't sew it back on.
I think you can.
It's not like a finger.
Well, what's the difference? They're shaped the same.
Well, I think that, once you cut off the connection to the kids, you just do.
I just want to hear this explanation that Kenzie's going to give.
I don't think you can, because, your finger, whatever, you put that back on. I don't think that I bet if you get your penis chopped off, you can't have kids anymore if you sew it back on. If it's just for show at that point.
But you also, getting your fingers sewn back on, you probably can't scroll on your iPhone either.
Why? You're just bending it. This is, different.
What if it's dangling? You can't,
No, but if you sew it back on, whatever. But,
Wait, what does that mean?
I bet, your penis probably can't go up and down anymore and stuff.
Oh, I bet it can.
I don't know.
I'm with Kenzie on that part of it, but I also think the finger also can't go up and down if you sew it back on.
I don't know. It just, I wouldn't you rather have your finger not go up and down than your
Yes.
penis?
Of course.
I
Would
don't
you
think that was ever an
rather?
argument.
That's not a debate.
Yeah.
That's not the Subway as a restaurant conversation at all.
If only one couldn't work anymore.
Would you rather? If there's a medical professional that has worked in an emergency room, let's say, has it ever been sewn back on and it works after that?
Yeah, or
And
somebody
I mean
who's just lost
completely-
theirs.
I don't lose it. What do you mean lost it?
I had it cut off.
Oh, okay. I couldn't find it that morning.
Well, here's the lesson.
But it has to be completely off. I don't mean like a laceration. Like if it came off, where you just held it completely separate from your body, and you sew it back on. It's not gonna work.
You're actually putting parameters on the conversation, like a
I want to
slight.
be cut it a little bit. Like that's nothing.
Well, it's not cut like you're trimming the bonsai tree down there.
I mean, even if somebody tried to cut it off and didn't get all the way through, that doesn't count. If it came completely separate from your body, and then somebody put it back on, there's no way it does the same stuff.
I'll go with that parameter because that's what happened here in the case of John Wayne Bobbitt. It was completely cut off.
I have a follow-up on the text line from Dusty. And Brian, you'll have to verify whether this is true or not because you're such an expert in this field and Kenzie and I aren't. But according to Dusty, after a high-speed chase, she threw his junk out the window.
Stop laughing at that.
She threw it out the window.
And then-
Could you
hold on,
imagine
hold on.
being in the car behind it and just like a penis hits your way?
You know how when someone's in front of you and turns their windshield wiper stuff on and
That's
gets
what I
on your
mean.
car? What if a penis landed on your
Flew
window?
on your window. I'd be so annoyed.
So she threw it out the window, but according to Dusty, 219 of the text line, they reattached it, and then he later made a porno called Frankenwiener.
So he's right. I was going to wait and see if I got into the story, but I'm glad people are texting in already about this, that he had a porn career after all that happened.
Did it work? Or would he just kind of hit people?
It
rub
was
up
like, it was
against
like poking people.
So it'd be like this.
They called it pickleball.
Wow, we're diving into the story before we even get to the second headline. I think I know which one's going to win.
Oh, yeah, I forgot we're doing that.
We're not even talking about.
Sorry, I forgot.
That's okay.
Okay, what's the other story?
Okay. So if you want to hear
It
more,
better be good.
if you want to hear more about that headline, text in headline number 1. And if you don't, text in headline number 2, which is this one, which doesn't sound near as fun now at this point. A healthcare worker inserted acupuncture needles in a patient, then went home and fell asleep. It's a pretty good story, too. But you guys decide which one you want to hear more about. Remember, we'll never talk about the other story again. So text in headline 1, headline 2, 312-591-8300. We'll get to the story, whichever one you choose, on the content after our good friends White Reaper, Brian and Kenzie on Q101.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101. It's Head to Headlines. You choose the content of what we talk about right now based on these 2 headlines we've given you. Head to Headlines. So the first headline was, John Wayne Bobbitt loses all his toes due to Camp Lejeune contaminated water 30 years after wife Lorena infamously cut off his penis, says a report. Is that what it sounds like?
What's the daisies?
What if it went like a balloon? Like, vroom, vroom, vroom. Yeah. And headline number 2, which we're probably not going to get to, is a healthcare worker inserted acupuncture needles in a patient and then went home and fell asleep. That's an amazing story, too. But clearly, you guys wanted to hear us chop up more of the John Wayne Bobbitt story.
Dark joke.
Oh.
Chop it up.
So we'll get to that story right now. You choose it. And the story says this. He just can't stop losing body parts.
I know. What does he have left?
Well, we'll get to that as John Wayne Bobbitt, who made headlines in 1993. So, by the way, this is right before the OJ trial and all that. This shows how messed up the mid-90s were with stories that took over. Yeah, and a court case that took over TV, but there was no court on TV until these cases, OJ and this one. But he made headlines in 93 when his then wife chopped off his penis while he slept. Recently opened up about the most recent appendage he has lost, his toes. Bobbitt, a former Marine, was diagnosed with toxic peripheral polyneuropathy.
Jeez.
How about that?
That sounds like a Dr. Seuss disease, isn't it?
One fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish.
Polyneuropathy.
After he was exposed to contaminated water at the Camp Lejeune military training facility in the late 80s. We've heard those commercials. Like if you're watching any kind of daytime TV show or late night show, it's always like if you were at Camp Lejeune during this time, you can sue and get money because apparently the water was contaminated and so many people have health problems because of that.
How many people went to the camp?
I'm not even sure where it is. It sounds like it's in the South. I think it's down.
I just that's a really specific commercial.
Yeah. I know.
If I my summer camp, 100 people went there? What's...
Well, this was a military. So this is in, let's see, where is Camp Lejeune? Jacksonville, North Carolina.
Don't they know everyone? Is that documented? Couldn't you just personally reach out to them and be like, your toes okay? Or...
Well, it was. Well, they don't want to pay anybody, so it was in the 80s. So the commercials run because there's these lawyers that know that you can get a settlement. So let's say you were there and you go, wait a minute, I was there. I want to get some money. But the camp isn't going out there saying, hey, we know you lost your toes. You want $1 million? And that's how. So they're not. They're keeping it, trying to keep it in the down low. But the lawyers have the commercials running. You haven't heard those commercials?
About the camp?
Yeah, if you were at Camp Lejeune in 1987.
No, I have not heard that commercial.
Case, you seen those?
No, I can't say I have.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I guess I'm the only one. Anyway, it was in Jacksonville, North Carolina, not Florida, where that camp is.
Oh, in North Carolina, huh?
Yeah. You lived there for a little bit. You know where Jacksonville is?
Yeah. That wasn't too far. I was in Asheville.
It could have been you.
Maybe you were at Camp Lejeune. Maybe that was your summer camp.
That was my summer camp. Sounds about right. It wasn't a great place.
How were your toes?
That's how I knew we were poor. I'm like, this place sucks. Not what I see on TV.
Your toes all good?
I think so. I can actually... Did it make your toes, mutate?
Well, let's read more of the story and see what it said here.
Because I'm really good at... I have very fully functioning toes. I pick stuff up with my toes.
Bragger.
Really?
I know. And I can tap all of them.
What do you mean you can tap all of them?
I can tap my toes, each toe individually.
The little one even?
Yeah. So, you know when you, click your fingers, when you're thinking like that?
Yeah.
I do that with my toes.
Oh, my God.
I do it with my toes.
I pictured your
and
little...
I pick stuff up.
I pictured your toes having little tap shoes on them. Every one of them.
I seriously, I did.
Hello, my baby. Hello, my darling.
I'm doing it right now. I'm tapping each toe.
I can't ask you to make a video of that, right?
I'm not going to do that.
Okay.
It feels like you should never be tight on money again if you have all these things you could do with your feet.
I haven't stooped to that point, but I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah, one more streaming service to pay
Maybe
for.
people could just give me different items to pick up with my toes. That could be my OnlyFans bit. Because I can pick stuff up.
I have some ideas.
Can you pick a fork up?
Oh, for sure.
That's easy. What about a baseball?
That'd be tough. That's too big. I don't have, I got to be able to get around it. I'm like a hawk. I got to, curl.
I bet you're monkey fingers, those long, oh, God.
Yeah, I got to be able to get around. I can't, grab a football. You know what I mean? In between my 2 feet, I suppose, a crane.
Text in what you want Kenzie to pick up on her feet.
And we will fulfill every request that's asked.
Okay.
We will do this.
Think of the ratings, Kenzie.
I got to get out of here early today.
We can do it tomorrow. It's okay.
Okay, perfect.
So, John Wayne Bobbitt, we said he was at Camp Lejeune. He was a former Marine. And again, this story, a lot of our texters are texting in, they remember this story. At least you saw a replay of it on those 90 shows on A&E. It took over everything. He was a Marine. He was diagnosed with that, and then he lost all his toes recently because of it. So it happened in the 80s, but he's just losing his toes now. He lost
it made it sound like he got diagnosed. You said he was a Marine. He got diagnosed with that. That's what you said.
Oh, I mean, not diagnosed, but he lost all his toes. The last toes were removed in 2023, it says in the story.
Oh, my God. He's got nothing left.
Well,
sell them for parts.
We'll get to the penis part in a second, but he has 2 raw stumps now, his feet, and he's now... he did some kind of interview, and he's trying to get, like I said, the money that those advertised lawyers are doing, saying, come get the money. He's trying to get compensation. But wasn't a great person,
Right.
So,
hence the penis chop.
I guess bad people can still benefit from some kind of lawsuit, I guess.
Well, yeah, they don't judge your character.
It's too bad. I mean, OJ got off. He didn't go to jail.
This is different. If like you got something because you were, how do I say this? If you got like you took medication that was poor, or you went to a camp that mutated you, they don't go, but are you a good person? Like, that's still like illegal.
They should.
Yeah, two wrongs don't make a right, Brian.
I know. So that's what happened is going back to 93. So he got his penis cut off by his wife.
Not a good year.
Going
Tough
back
year.
there, and it was a volatile marriage, and she accused him of abuse, and he denied it. They ended up both getting off. So she got off
For what? What did she do?
For cutting off his penis. Oh, no, I'm sure she did nothing wrong.
I didn't even think that was a crime. So twisted, I think. I'm like, what did she do?
Yeah.
I suppose that's illegal.
But he got off on the abuse, and the jury was of 9 women and 3 men. So I don't know. I can't remember the case, like if it was a really poorly done case as far as the lawyers that were, arguing, kind of like did he have Marsha Clark out there? Did she have that defending her or whatever? But so they both got off, but then he had it reattached, and to get some money, because he now was kind of famous, he formed a band called the Severed Parts.
You're lying.
No, I'm not.
Does everybody have like a missing thing in the band?
It just says he
or
did.
just him?
Oh my God, you could build a dream team. It could be him and it could be Def Leppard's drummer.
Oh my God. Okay, that's good. Who else?
Who else has missing body parts?
I don't think any other band member. Maybe it was like White Stripes, just him and that guy.
My first boyfriend ever cheated on me with a girl with one hand, so I could get him her information.
That's a weird connection.
So she could be part of it.
Did you know how she lost the hand?
No.
That's too bad.
Did it make you feel
from
bad?
being the other woman 2 times.
She's a bad person.
Yeah. No hand for you.
So after that, he did appear in an adult film. And I'm trying to see, because the story doesn't say any information about, we were just asking, it worked. If it worked or not, it just was reattached, and was it just flopping around?
They call him Thumper.
Oh, man. So he has no toes, no penis. Well, he has a penis reattached. I don't know if it works. But
Okay. What? So he's got like legs and stuff. So it's
he has
good.
legs, but he has stumps on the bottom.
Oh yeah, can he not walk?
It doesn't look like it.
Does the absence of toes, if you still have the presence of feet, like
If
can
you
you
don't
still
have,
walk?
if you don't have toes, I don't think you can walk.
Really?
Yeah, they do all your balance and everything. So I know people that have lost like a big toe, and they have to use a cane.
Stop it.
Yeah.
One for one of the toes?
One toe gone. They have to use a cane.
Wow.
The big one, though. The big toe.
Yeah, that's where the money's at.
Kind of pulling the crew.
Yeah. It sucks. A buddy of mine had a machine fell over in like a plant, and he lost his big toe.
Does he play any instruments? He could be in the band.
Brian and Kenzie.
On Q 101.
Brian and Kenzie.
On Q 101.
Coming up at 9 o'clock, 20 minutes away, is your chance to go see the Red Hot Chili Peppers anywhere in the U.S. You choose. You get an awesome trip, VIP style, and everything's taken care of there for you. So that's at 9 a.m. with Brian and Kenzie on Q101. A couple of follow-ups to head the headlines. The story about John Wayne Bobbitt, who had his penis cut off by his wife in 1993, but now lost all his toes because he was at Camp Lejeune, which is a big commercial with people who've had contaminated water there that caused a lot of problems.
People are texting in that they remember the. You're not alone. Even though Case and I don't remember, you're accurate.
I'm pretty sure we even ran those commercials here on Q101, I think, not that long ago in the past year or two. And they're all over the place. If you were at Camp Lejeune in the 80s, go there. And it might have been Kenzie's summer camp, too. So,
Oh, wait, we're getting some toe freaks. Things a lot, Case.
what does that mean?
Like requests.
Oh, for what? Your
People
toes?
want me to eat Cheetos out of my toes. That's weird.
That's good.
I'm not doing it. What do you mean that's good?
I mean,
I'd like to see it.
you were bragging about your toe ability.
Well, I wasn't bragging. It's just the truth. What can I say? That's all I got. That's my brag, is that my toes have full mobility.
So you have tap dancing toes.
Yeah.
So we have some. First off, this is wild to confirm this, by the way, that I went on a little deep dive here. It's probably going to be red flagged from the company and doing this. Like, does John Wayne Bobbitt's penis work? It's not a healthy Google search that's going to come up, but it's for the show and for you guys. that after a 9-hour surgery, the two surgeons were able to successfully reattach John Bobbitt's penis and return it to its normal function.
Wow.
So it does happen. They said, and that surgeon said it was the most interesting and dramatic case he's ever done in his life. Of course.
And
Well, yeah.
There's probably not a simulation for that in medical school. They're not like, hey, this is the missing penis unit. Be sure to take notes.
Yeah,
this might come up one day.
Not wasting a class on that.
No, it's tough.
Also, Heather checked in 847. My friend has no toes and can walk, wears kids' shoes.
Oh.
Oh, and you save money.
But they're small.
Wow. Lot of pros here.
Exactly. So, Doug, we're supposed to take your case?
Yeah, Doug worked with John Wayne Bobbitt's nephew.
What?
And so he has some exclusive information about his parts down there.
Okay, Doug, let us have it. Go ahead. You're on the air, bud. Thanks. Oh, I just lost him.
Oh.
Doug?
Just lost Doug.
Cut off like the penis.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q 101.